Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man Channel. The eyes see only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. Henri Bergson. But what if there were men who saw more than they should, who could sense deception before words were spoken, detect shifts in energy before chaos erupted, and predict outcomes before the first move was even made? Not through magic, but through something even more unsettling, insane psychic precision. Science tells us that the human brain processes over 11 million bits of information per second, but the average person is only conscious of about 40. Sigma males? They seem to tap into the other 10,999,960. It's like they're running on an entirely different frequency, quietly collecting data, spotting patterns, and making predictions that leave everyone else 2 steps behind and wondering how the hell he knew that. Some call it hyper-awareness, others call it intuition on steroids. Either way, when a Sigma male turns on his psychic mode, nothing and no one is truly hidden. And the best part? He never tells you what he sees, he just acts on it, silently, precisely, and in a way that makes people deeply uncomfortable. Now let's talk about the moments when these mysterious men unleash their insane psychic powers. Because once you understand this, you'll never look at them the same way again. Number 1. They feel lies before they're even spoken. Most people need to hear a lie before they recognize it. Sigma males, they feel the deception before it even takes form. It's not magic. It's raw, unfiltered pattern recognition mixed with an eerie ability to pick up on things others don't even register. A person could be rehearsing a lie in their head, thinking they've got it all planned out. And yet somehow, the Sigma male already knows something's off. It's not about words. It's about everything before the words. The unnatural pause before answering, the stiffness in their posture, the fraction of a second delay in eye contact, all of it sets off silent alarms in the Sigma's mind before a single syllable is spoken. People like to believe they're good at lying. They assume that if they keep a straight face and say things convincingly, they're in the clear. What they don't realize is that Sigma males aren't listening to what is being said. They're tuned into everything happening around it, the micro-expressions that flicker and vanish in a heartbeat, the subtle change in breathing, the unnatural stillness that screams, "I'm trying too hard to look normal." It's all laid bare in front of them, and the liar has no idea they've already been exposed. Here's where it gets even more unsettling. Sigma males don't call liars out. They don't need to. They simply store the information, adjust their actions accordingly, and let the liar dig their own grave. That's what makes them dangerous. A liar might think they've gotten away with it, but they don't realize the Sigma male has already distanced himself, reworked his plans, or cut them out entirely. By the time the deception collapses, the Sigma is long gone, unaffected, having already planned for the fallout before it even happened. This is why people find Sigma males so unnerving. They never overreact, never demand the truth, never engage in pointless confrontations. They just know. And that kind of knowing, without explanation, without proof, without confrontation, can make people deeply uncomfortable. Because nothing is more terrifying than realizing someone has already seen through you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Number 2, they read a room like a script they've already memorized. A Sigma male doesn't just enter a room, he processes it. While everyone else is distracted by small talk or first impressions, his subconscious is already running a silent, high-speed analysis, the way someone's shoulders tense ever so slightly, the forced laughter that doesn't quite match the eyes, the person trying too hard to be invisible. He catches it all, and just like that, he knows who's in control, who's bluffing, and who's about to crack under pressure. Most people assume social dynamics are random, but Sigma males see the patterns beneath the surface. Confidence isn't always real, authority isn't always earned, and the loudest person in the room is rarely the one with actual influence. They don't just look at people, they decode them. That guy acting like he runs the place, probably compensating for insecurity. The quiet observer in the corner, the real power might lie with him. And the one smiling too much, nodding at everything, they're either trying to win favor or they don't belong here at all. This is why Sigma males move differently. They don't need to announce their presence or dominate the space. They already own it, just by understanding it better than everyone else. They sit back, let people reveal themselves, and maneuver accordingly. If they speak, it's calculated. If they engage, it's because they've already determined who's worth their energy. What makes this ability unsettling is that it's nearly impossible to fool them. They don't rely on words, they rely on everything unsaid. And because they aren't emotionally reactive, they don't get distracted by personal biases or wishful thinking. They see things for what they are, not what people want them to be. That's why they can navigate social spaces like a chessboard while everyone else is just playing checkers. By the time others are still figuring out the basics, who to trust, who to impress, who to avoid, Sigma males have already mapped out the terrain. It's not mind reading, it's hyper-awareness on a level most people will never even notice, let alone master. Number 3, they predict betrayals before they even begin. Loyalty doesn't just snap in a moment, it erodes in small, almost invisible shifts. And while most people are blindsided by betrayal, Sigma males catch the warning signs before the knife is even sharpened. It's not paranoia, it's a level of awareness that makes deception almost impossible to hide. People don't realize that before they even decide to betray a Sigma male, their body has already started betraying them. A slight hesitation before answering, an unnatural friendliness, a sudden change in energy, tiny details that would seem meaningless to the average person but stand out like flashing red lights to a Sigma. What makes them different is that they don't ignore these signs. They don't brush off inconsistencies or give the benefit of the doubt when something feels off. The moment they detect a shift in someone's behavior, they start recalculating. Why the sudden extra politeness? Why the forced enthusiasm? Why the delayed response when asked a direct question? They don't need a full-blown betrayal to confirm what they already know. The process of disloyalty has already begun, and that's all they need to see. By the time someone actually attempts to turn on them, it's already too late. The Sigma male has quietly adjusted his position, cut off key access points, and removed any leverage that could be used against him. The would-be betrayer is left confused, realizing too late that their plan has been rendered completely ineffective. The beauty of this is that the Sigma doesn't even have to confront them. He just steps out of the way, letting them sabotage themselves while he remains completely unaffected. This is why people find Sigma males so frustrating. They can't be manipulated, blindsided, or outmaneuvered because they see the game before it's even played, and they never react emotionally to betrayal because in their mind it was never a shock, just an outcome they had already factored in. The result? They stay untouchable, always 10 steps ahead, while those who plotted against them are left wondering how they lost before they even made their move. Number 4, they know who's real and who's wearing a mask. Most people take others at face value, but Sigma males, they see straight through the act. Fake confidence, forced humility, exaggerated kindness, it all stands out like bad acting in a low-budget movie. The way someone walks, the way they hold eye contact, the way their words don't quite match their energy, it all exposes the truth before a single conversation even starts. People assume they can fake confidence by speaking louder, standing taller, or dominating conversations. But to a Sigma male, true confidence isn't in how someone talks, it's in how they exist in a space. Do they move with natural ease, or are they performing for approval? Do they hold their opinions steady, or do they scan the room before deciding what to say? The moment someone overcompensates, tries too hard, or subtly seeks validation, the Sigma already knows. It's all an illusion. Fake kindness is even easier to spot. The exaggerated sweetness, the way someone compliments just a little too often, the polite laugh that lingers longer than it should, it's all a giveaway. Sigma males don't judge people by their words, they judge them by their patterns. Are they kind to everyone, or only when they need something? Do they stay respectful in private, or just when an audience is watching? These subtle inconsistencies are enough to expose a person's true nature, and once a Sigma sees it, there's no unseeing it. Then there's fake humility, the most insufferable kind of deception. The person who downplays their success while fishing for praise. The one who insists they don't care about status, but subtly reminds everyone of their accomplishments. The Sigma male doesn't fall for this game. He recognizes the quiet desperation behind it, the craving for validation disguised as modesty. To him, real humility doesn't announce itself, just like real confidence doesn't seek applause. This ability to see through people is exactly why Sigma males don't waste time on 99% of them. Most interactions feel predictable, filled with scripted personas and social masks. And rather than playing along, they'd rather disengage. They don't expose the fakeness, they don't challenge it, they simply remove themselves from it. Because when you see through everything, most of what people do stops being interesting. Number 5, they smell desperation from miles away. Desperation has a scent, and no matter how well someone tries to mask it, a Sigma male picks up on it instantly. It's in the way someone talks just a little too much, laughs a little too hard, or insists they don't care while their every move says otherwise. A person can act cool, detached, or confident, but if they're secretly craving validation, approval, or control, the Sigma male senses it before they even realize they're giving themselves away. Neediness doesn't always look obvious. It's not just the person begging for attention or constantly fishing for compliments. It's also the one who pretends to be indifferent but keeps subtly pulling for reassurance. The guy who acts like he doesn't care about status but can't stop mentioning his achievements. The girl who plays it cool but keeps checking to see if anyone noticed her. The friend who constantly jokes about being unwanted just to gauge people's reactions. It's all different flavors of the same thing, an internal void that they're desperate to have someone else fill. Sigma males don't engage with this kind of energy, not because they're cruel, but because they recognize a simple truth. People who need validation will always drain those who don't. A desperate person doesn't want connection. They want someone to prop up their ego, soothe their insecurities, or give them a sense of importance. And a Sigma male? He has no interest in playing that role. This is why Sigmas often appear cold or uninterested. They don't feed desperation, they don't entertain forced interactions, and they definitely don't reward needy behavior. If someone starts over-explaining, overcompensating, or subtly testing their value, the Sigma male quietly disengages. No confrontation, no explanations, just a silent exit from the dynamic. And that's what unnerves people the most. Desperate energy thrives on reaction, but Sigma males don't give it one. While everyone else plays along, reassures, or validates, the Sigma simply does, but because he refuses to be dragged into someone else's internal struggle. He knows that desperation isn't something you fix for someone. It's something they have to deal with themselves. That's why, when a Sigma male senses even a hint of neediness, he doesn't argue. He doesn't explain. He doesn't try to help. He just removes himself. No drama, no second chances, no wasted energy. And for those desperate for attention, that silence is the most brutal rejection of all. Number 6, they make people second-guess their own motives. Talking to a Sigma male isn't like talking to anyone else. Most people engage in conversations on autopilot, throwing around words without much thought, hiding behind social scripts and rehearsed personas. But a Sigma doesn't operate that way. He listens with precision, cutting through the surface and getting straight to the real meaning behind what someone is saying. And the unsettling part, he doesn't even have to try. It just happens. People find themselves opening up without knowing why, revealing more than they intended. But what makes it even more disorienting is that the Sigma male doesn't react the way they expect. He doesn't give the usual nods of agreement, the predictable reassurances, or the comforting lies people are used to hearing. Instead, he asks questions, simple, direct, and impossible to dodge. But why do you actually feel that way? Is that what you really want, or just what you've been told you should want? Suddenly, someone who thought they had clear intentions starts hesitating. They replay their own words in their head. They second-guess their choices, their beliefs, their desires. It's not manipulation, it's clarity. A Sigma male isn't trying to control or influence, he's simply exposing what's already there. He doesn't feed people's illusions or validate their delusions. He makes them confront the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. This is why some people feel incredibly drawn to Sigmas, while others find them unsettling. They force a level of self-awareness that most aren't ready for. What makes it even more unnerving is that Sigmas do this effortlessly. They don't push, they don't pry, and they don't play mind games. They just listen, ask the right questions, and let people unravel themselves. And once someone starts questioning their own motives, there's no going back. They either embrace the self-awareness or avoid the Sigma altogether. Because once you've seen the truth about yourself, pretending becomes exhausting. Number 7. They sense when the world is about to change. Sigma males don't just exist in a space, they leave an imprint on it. Even when they're not around, their presence is felt. People adjust their behavior, rethink their words, and sometimes even hesitate before making a move, all because the Sigma male might be watching, or worse, noticing. This isn't about intimidation or control. It's about impact. Sigma males operate with a level of independence and self-assurance that forces people to acknowledge them even in silence. Their refusal to engage in unnecessary drama, their ability to see through deception, and their unwillingness to play social games create an aura that sticks. People replay past conversations, wondering what the Sigma really meant. They analyze his reactions, trying to figure out if they impressed him or embarrassed themselves. And even if he said nothing at all, that silence speaks volumes. Respect, fear, admiration, envy, it all depends on the person experiencing it. Some see Sigmas as a standard to measure themselves against. Others feel uneasy because they can't manipulate them or predict their moves. The most insecure individuals might even resent them simply because their mere presence highlights everything they wish they could be. But no matter the emotion, one thing is certain: a Sigma male is never forgotten. Even in group dynamics, Sigmas influence outcomes without needing to be in the room. Their ideas, their opinions, even their disinterest can shift the direction of conversations and decisions. People might find themselves asking, what would he think about this? Or how would he handle this situation? And just like that, the Sigma's presence extends beyond the physical. It lingers in the minds of others, shaping their choices without a single word spoken. This is why Sigmas never chase influence. It naturally gravitates toward them. While others fight for attention, the Sigma remains in the background, watching, waiting, and pulling the strings without ever needing to touch them. Number 8. They sense when someone's life is about to take a turn. Some people believe in luck, others believe in fate. Sigma males believe in patterns. They don't just look at a person, they analyze them, sometimes without even realizing it. The way someone talks about their future, the choices they keep repeating, the small but telling shifts in their energy. Sigma males absorb all of it like a human radar, and from these tiny, seemingly insignificant details, they can sense when someone's life is about to take a major turn. It's not guesswork, it's not some mystical ability, it's simply an uncanny level of awareness. When someone is on a path to success, a Sigma can see the signs long before the results show: the quiet discipline, the hunger for growth, the subtle but consistent improvements. These things are invisible to most people, but not to a Sigma. He knows when someone is about to break through, even if they're still doubting themselves. And when he does, he might give a rare nod of respect, a simple word of encouragement, or, in true Sigma fashion, just silently take note and watch them rise. On the flip side, he also sees downfalls coming from miles away. People think failures happen suddenly, but Sigmas know better. There are always warning signs. That slight edge of arrogance creeping into someone's voice. The overconfidence that blinds them to risks. The slow erosion of discipline disguised as taking it easy. The dangerous habit of surrounding themselves with flatterers instead of truth-tellers. A Sigma male notices it all, and while others are shocked when someone crashes and burns, he's not even remotely surprised. The same goes for relationships and heartbreaks. A Sigma doesn't just listen to what people say about their love lives. He watches what they do. He picks up on the subtle hesitations, the small betrayals, the emotional shifts that most people ignore until it's too late. When a relationship is about to crumble, he knows. When someone is about to get their heart broken, he can feel it. And when someone is unknowingly walking into the best or worst chapter of their life, the Sigma male already sees the writing on the wall. The most unnerving part, he rarely says anything. Because in his mind, people only learn when they experience things for themselves. So while the world stumbles through its victories and failures, the Sigma quietly watches, always knowing what's coming next. Number 9, they make people confess without asking a single question. Some people extract information through interrogation. Sigma males, they don't have to say a single word. Their silence is so unnerving, so charged with unspoken understanding, that people end up spilling secrets just to break the tension. It's not hypnosis. It's the sheer weight of their presence. The quiet but undeniable feeling that they already know. This isn't something they force, it just happens. They lock eyes with someone and suddenly that person feels seen in a way they never have before. It's an unshakable feeling, like standing under an X-ray, knowing every insecurity, every half-truth, every unspoken regret is on full display. Most people can't handle it. They fidget, they stumble over their words, and before they even realize it, they start confessing things they had no intention of sharing. It's not about intimidation, it's about clarity. Sigma males don't fill silences with pointless chatter. They don't rush to comfort someone's nervousness. They just wait. And in that waiting, the other person's mind starts racing. What does he know? Why isn't he saying anything? Can he see through me? The pressure becomes unbearable, and people break under it, not because they were forced to, but because they couldn't handle the weight of their own thoughts anymore. The best part, a Sigma male doesn't even react. No judgment, no unnecessary words, just a quiet nod, a subtle shift, a glance that says, "I knew it." And just like that, he walks away, leaving the other person wondering how they ended up revealing things they swore they'd never admit. Number 10, they attract the right opportunities without trying. Sigma males don't waste time running after things that aren't meant for them. They move with purpose, operate in silence, and let their energy do the heavy lifting. And somehow, without even trying, the right people, opportunities, and situations find them. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's the simple fact that they are so aligned with their own path that the universe adjusts accordingly. Most people exhaust themselves chasing validation, forcing connections, and trying to manipulate outcomes. Sigma males, they just exist in a state of quiet mastery. They build skills relentlessly, cultivate independence, and refine their mindset until their presence alone demands attention. And because they don't need anything from anyone, they become magnetic to the things that actually matter. High-value individuals recognize their depth. Powerful opportunities gravitate toward their discipline. Even enemies can't help but acknowledge their presence. The irony? Sigma males rarely even notice it happening. They're too focused on their own evolution to sit around analyzing who's watching them or what doors are opening. But while others scramble and beg for a seat at the table, the Sigma is already being invited, because power, respect, and opportunity naturally flow to those who don't chase them. Number 11, they sense weak spots in everyone, even themselves. Sigma males don't walk around pretending to be invincible. They don't need to. Their power comes from something much rarer, self-awareness so sharp that no one can use their weaknesses against them. Most people avoid confronting their flaws, terrified of what they might find. Sigma males, they hunt their own weak spots down before the world ever gets a chance to. They analyze themselves with the same brutal honesty they use on others. They know where they hesitate, where they're vulnerable, and where their emotions might cloud their judgment. This is what makes them nearly impossible to manipulate. You can't trap someone who has already mapped out every possible snare. You can't play mind games with someone who has already dismantled their own illusions. And you definitely can't break a Sigma male with a truth he's already faced head-on. This ability isn't just for self-protection, it's a weapon. While most people walk through life unaware of their own blind spots, Sigma males see everything. They can sense the exact moment someone's confidence is an act, the second a person's words stop matching their energy, and the precise weakness someone is trying to hide. And because they've done this work on themselves, they don't just see weaknesses. They understand them. They know what fear looks like. They recognize insecurity before it even shows. They predict self-sabotage before it happens. The difference between Sigma males and the rest of the world? Most people fear their weaknesses. Sigma males master them, and that's why they remain untouchable. Sigma males don't need to prove they have an edge. They just do. Their ability to sense the unseen, predict shifts before they happen, and read people like an open book isn't about luck or supernatural powers. It's the result of sharp intuition, relentless observation, and a mind that never stops calculating. While the world moves blindly from moment to moment, Sigmas see the patterns, feel the shifts, and know when something or someone is about to change. What makes them truly powerful isn't just their foresight, it's their silence. They don't waste time trying to convince people of what they see coming. They don't warn, they don't explain, and they definitely don't seek validation. They act. By the time the world catches up, the Sigma has already adapted, moved forward, or simply vanished from the chaos before it even began. And that's what makes them so unforgettable. Their presence lingers, their absence is felt, and their influence extends far beyond what most people can comprehend. Whether they're predicting the rise and fall of a person, a movement, or an entire system, one thing is certain: they always know before you do. If this breakdown of Sigma male intuition just blew your mind, then you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Like this video if it made you think differently, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and most importantly, share this with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who might be walking blind into a storm a Sigma male already saw coming. Stay sharp, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.